Hello everyone, welcome back to this video. I am Pooja Singh and today I'll be sharing a 3-month study structured plan for you to crack UGC NET JRF in English literature. So if you're new here and don't know what to study and how to manage the time and what not to study, then this video is for you. The very first thing is that what we all be covering in the examination, the very first thing is we need to cover English literature, literary theory, literary criticism, and practice test and mock tests. And the very important the thing is that PYQ, and if you're not following PYQ, then this exam is going to be very tough for you. So in this video we'll be discussing each and everything, so stay with me till the end and let's get started. So in the very first month, we will be covering the British literature and literary criticism, and it is heavily tested in the examination. So let's break down what you need to study in the week first. So in the very week first, you need to start with Old and Middle English literature, right? So the very first thing what you will be studying is first study Beowulf, then Canterbury Tales and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Then read about Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe and Ben Jonson, right? Then for this, if you're starting the basic English literature, if you haven't heard anything about English literature and you are starting and you're beginning new, then you should follow Edward Elbert's book in English literature, that is Edward Elber's History of English Literature book. And this book is very nice. I completed everything from this book, and this gives you a brief introduction of the background of historical context, important writers, important poets, their works, and the prize they have won in their life. So yes, this is a very must book to read. For week 2, you need to start 17th and 18th century literature, right? So in this, what you need to understand, the very first thing, the background of 17th and 18th century. What transition phase did? What led to 17th century, 18th century? What was the background, like French Revolution? How did the France get revolutionized? So these all things are there that you need to understand. And then go for metaphysical poetry, like poems like John Donne, John Herbert, and everything like that. You need to understand the background. Then understand neoclassicism through Dryden, Pope, and Swift. These are the basic poets. Okay, I'm just telling you the basic poets, and you need to start through them, because whenever you are going through a certain period or a century, you need to know the backgrounds in detail, not like overview. But see, when the statements question answers come in UGC NET examination, like the depth, then they are for for understanding the background. Then let's go to week 3, romantic and Victorian literature. For romantic and Victorian literature, you should go for obviously the Wordsworth, Coleridge, Keats and Shelley. You cannot miss them because they are the most asked poets, and the works and the writers and their poets have been always asked in UGC NET. They are the favorites of UGC NET examination, right? Then you can in week 3 you can also start by reading their novels like Dickens, George Eliot, Hardy and the Bronte sisters. They are the, I'm telling you, the important works and the important writers of the period, how you should start, right? Then for week 4 you can go for literary criticism, right? Cover Aristotle's Poetics, Longinus and Dryden. Sublimity, what that sublime means, what Dryden gave the important works. Aristotle Poetics, what is the poetics is all about, what is the background of that. So every time you're studying any writer, any critic, any work, go for the important work of them, and then you should follow PYQ, because this is the most important thing in the UGC NET examination. 10. Read Wordsworth Preface to Lyrical Ballads, Arnold's The Function of Criticism, and this is the basic thing which you should be knowing, and this has been asked every time. And then always the tip is here that always focus on summaries, key themes, and then refer to PYQ, because see, when you are getting deep into one poet, one writer, or one critic, this is going to be like mess. You won't be able to understand what you should study and what you should not study. So for that, you should revise PYQ daily, and there is no time left for examination. So start from today itself, right? Don't wait that when the notification will come and then you will be starting your all, making notes and then everything. No, don't wait for that time. Start your preparation from today itself. For month 2, we'll be focusing on modern literature, postmodern literature, and also on Indian literature, because these are the most asked section in the UGC NET examination, and you should not miss it, right? So for week 5, what you can study is postmodernism and modernism. Study T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. You should not miss Wasteland studying, and the love song of J. Prufrock. That is also very famous. Then Virginia Woolf, James Joyce. These are the famous writers of modernism. Then understand modernism with Samuel Beckett and Salman Rushdie. Samuel Beckett, right? The absurdity. What is absurdity? Waiting for Godot. So these all things have been asked repeatedly in the UGC NET JRF examination, and you should not miss this reading. Then if we go for week 6, then you go for American and African and post-colonial literature, because these are also have been asked many times in the UGC NET examination. Then read Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Morrison, Chinua Achebe, Ngugi Othongi's. Learn about post-colonial theories by Edward Said, Homi K. Bhabha, Gayatri Spivak. So these are the important American and African post-colonial literature. So these you should not miss. And again, I'll be saying focus on PYQ, because that is the most important thing that you should not miss, right? So we can go for week 7, that is Indian English literature. Read early writers like R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, Mulk Raj Anand, and they're the very famous writers of Indian literature, and they have written a lot of good works. You should, if you have time, if you have ample time, you should be reading it. Then you can study contemporary writers like Arundhati Roy and Amitav Ghosh, and they are the important writers of UGC NET JRF English. And then don't forget Dalit and tribal writers like Mahashweta Devi and Nirmala Putul. Nowadays, a lot of works have been asked, like what was the work of the first female Dalit writer's work. So these are the things which you will be knowing once you have gone through all the past year paper questions of English literature. Then you are at the right place at what I need to study and what I don't want to study, right? So these are the basic things which you need to understand while preparing UGC NET examination. Then we'll go for week 8. For week 8, you should cover structuralism, that is Ferdinand de Saussure, post-structuralism, that is Jacques Derrida, Jacques Lacan, and then study Marxism, feminism, psychoanalysis, that is Freud, Lacan, Showalter, and many more. And then what you need to do, and here is the tip, is that you should read short summaries and apply concepts in PYQs, and whatever has been asked, structuralism, post-structuralism, what is new criticism, how you deal with it, then what is id, what is ego, what is super ego, how they are connected with it, then what is crime and punishment, what are the Foucault's concepts, what are the Derrida's concept, how structures are formed, how science have been developed, what is what is signified, what is signifier. These are the basic things. Lingua, parole. So once you are reading, so week 8 will be like for understanding, once you have already established a foundation for your all the English literature concept, and then week 8 you need to understand these all things, right? So now once you have prepared for like 2 months now, right? Now this is the time for 1/3, and now you need to focus on linguistic, research methodology, and PYQ sets, or you can give mock tests if you like, right? Then in final month, week 9, linguistic and ELT, because a lot of questions has been asked in 2024 June and 2024 December, because a lot of questions has been asked, like study phonetics, morphology, theories on language, Saussure, Chomsky, then learn English language teaching, ELT methods, why it is important, how grammar translation method is happening. what is a direct method, what is second learning method, how English came in India, and these all things related with English and the translation of English in English literature, right? Then we can go for week 10. Week 10 is all about research methods and literary terms. Study qualitative, quantitative, mixed method research. What are the formats? How we can define this as research methodology? How can go for like applied research? How this is descriptive research? And this you also will be studying in paper 1. So it can be clear from that also if you're studying well. Then revise MLA and APA citation style, because there's a lot of a lot of times has been asked, like this last 2024 December, a lot of questions were of writing style, citation styles, so you should not be misreading it. Then week 11 will be purely for PYQs and mock tests. So here is the crux, that either you can start solving PYQ from the day itself, today itself, like first day 1 of your preparation, or once you read everything and then start your PYQ. But what my suggestion will be for you is that study and then solve PYQ, because then you'll be knowing that okay, these are the concepts I don't know and I need to study this. Okay, then solve PYQ and mock test, solve the last 10 years of PYQs. And if you have solved 10 years of PYQs, you will, win half of the battle from the rest of the student. Because what all the students do, they study a hell lot of things, a hell lot of YouTube channels, a hell lot of educators, but what they don't do is they don't solve PYQs. I'm not demeaning anyone, it's your choice purely, but until unless you're not solving PYQs, this is not going to help you. Then week 12, final revision, revise literary movements and weak areas. Like once you have prepared for 2.5 months, now you'll be knowing that okay, these are my weak areas, these are my strongest areas. And how you know that what is your strong area and what is your weak area? The very first thing is when you're solving PYQ, the one gets correct is automatically that the strongest area, or you have retained that concept in your mind well, and the one you have studied it well, but once you're solving questions it gets wrong. So that's how you understand this is your weak area and this is your strong area. Like, and then take at least 5 mock tests before the final UGC NET English literature examination. Before your examination date, you should be solving at least 5 mock tests. You can purchase it from anywhere. It's a lot of mock test papers available in the market, online or papers. You can do it for sure. And this is how your 3-month study plan looks like, right? And if you're asking for the books, I'll recommend only 3 books, not more than that. The very first book is that Edward Elbow's History of English Literature. That is very, everything is given in very brief, in detail, and you'll be knowing everything about the background, historical background, conflicts, what happened, and the major writers, their timeline, major works, the prizes they won. So that is the very best book. Then the second book which I followed was M.H. Abraham's literary, all the literary terms. That is like a dictionary, and every time new words has been asked or the new concepts is come from that, and you can see the match the following questions. So yes, M.H. Abraham is a great choice. And then for PYQs you can take R. Gupta's PYQ. That is the best book, and if you do like any other books for PYQs, you can go for it. The main focus is that you should be solving PYQ. That's all. You're solving it from YouTube channel, you're solving it from book, it's all up to you. Only these 3 books you should follow for preparing. Solving a book 10 times is better than studying 10 books 1 time. And that's, everybody says, that's not new thing, I'm saying this, but yes, you should follow this. Okay. And while preparing for all these 3 months, you need to focus on time management. You should not make a hell lot of notes, and you should follow PYQs, and for all the works, read summaries. There are some important works that while solving PYQs, you will be knowing that, okay, these are the important works and I need to know in their depth. But until unless these are your 3-month structured plan for UGC NET JRF and English literature, and focus on concepts, revise, practice, and you will be 1 step closer to success. And literally, because there are so many examples out there that people are working at one job and still preparing for UGC NET and then cracking their JRF. Being a housewife, women are cracking UGC NET JRF. So if you're a student, this should motivate you, because you have ample amount of time and you should utilize. Please remove all your Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook and all social media platform. Once you crack UGC NET JRF examination, everything will be on your fingertips, right? Give yourself 3 months and you will definitely going to crack your UGC NET JRF examination, right? And yes, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and if you need any help or detailed notes or mock test or any PDF, you can comment in the comment section. And best of luck, happy studying, and subscribe for more UGC NET content.